Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So, I found out today that I will no longer be on Tim Black at 9 p.m. on Wednesdays. I will be doing a show here at 9 p.m. to make up for it. Just to put a fine point on what happened. Last night, I did a show with Caitlin Johnston. Just before I did that show, I made a video essentially putting my support, saying, look, this hate against Caitlin Johnston is absolutely ridiculous and these people are being childish. During that video, I kind of made the point that I thought the response for Tim was somewhat tepid. Meaning, I thought that, and look, no offense was meant by it at all. I call things as I see things. Meaning, from my particular perspective, how I would respond to a particular thing. If my emotions are somewhat running high on a particular issue and I see somebody being somewhat gentle in regards to how they're talking about it, yes, from my perspective, it's a tepid response. Now, I said, again, with no offense meant at all, that I thought that they were gently stepping through an issue. Part of the reason I thought they were gently stepping through the issue is because the issue had to do with race. And that some of the people, Tim and HA, for some whatever reason, had some kind of affiliation, or at the very least they knew Anoa, Ben Dixon, and whoever they are in that particular army. I have no such allegiances. That apparently was taken as being offensive. That was apparently being offensive. Tim Black was angry at that. Tim Black made a video today, essentially saying, I'm not fucking tepid. Actually, I'll just show it. Now, his response, I get it. I guess you want to have a particular persona. I do think there's a slight irony in this. Caitlin Johnston's issue was minor. She was making a point. The point was, hey, you need to work with the right when you want to get things done. If somebody is an anti-war person, even if that is a disgusting person, on the very act of the anti-war, on the very basis of an anti-war, you actually do agree with that person. I agree with Rand Paul that drugs should be legal. I agree with Rand Paul that that shouldn't be locking all these people up. If Rand Paul was working on legislation to do that, yes, I would work with Rand Paul. You work in the way that you people agree with. You work towards agreement in that sense. I'm not going to agree with each and everything that somebody says. I will say things that would piss people off in this particular, in my channel. I would say those things. I will tread upon your angels. Trust me. If it hasn't happened yet, it will at some point. Does that make me a disgusting human being that can't be worked with? There are going to be things that you come across that you're not going to like from people. Grow up. Grow up. On the areas to which you agree, you work with those people. That was the point I was making in my video. That was the point Caitlin Johnston was making. That point was apparently taken as offensive. There's a somewhat irony here in the fact that all of this started on an article that was somewhat made a point. The point was straightforward. The point wasn't necessarily nefarious or anything else, and people made it out into something that it wasn't. Tim's argument here, and look, I love the guy. I like him. Like I say, he's like an uncle. But he's mad at me calling it tepid, or at the very least the response tepid, as if that's a really big thing. Look, I don't get it. This is to each his own. I talked to my wife about it early on. I said, hey, Tim Black doesn't want me on his channel. And she said, what? I said, Tim Black doesn't want me on his channel. He's mad because I called the response somewhat tepid. And she says, well, your brand is to be somewhat independent without entanglements. She said, when you first took this, saying you were going to work with him, your big issue was, would you be able to essentially be who you are? Hold your shape, as Caitlin Johnston say, and say what you want to say and say what you actually think and feel, even with the entanglements. Apparently that's impossible. Understand, no ill feelings, no ill will. I appreciate the time that I work with him. I think this is petty, of course, but whatever. I've always said that I have my own channel. If Tim wants to work in the future or something like that, absolutely open to it. Again, look at the guy, he's like an uncle to me. I don't know him per se. I don't know what he was getting in regards to hate or what people were saying in regards to these other people. Again, I don't have their entanglements. Ultimately, I look at this stuff as none of these people exist outside of myself. At the very least, I can't prove it. So it doesn't necessarily bother me one way or the other. I have a real life. This is somewhat of a digital life. Slightly annoys me just because I find it to be petty. But to each his own. Everyone has their own thing. No entanglements is my label. No entanglements is what I stay with. I tell things how I see things. If that means that I need to be left to my own devices, I am perfectly comfortable with being left to my own devices. This is the breakup. this is breakup. He didn't hit me up on this. He just did it on video. So let's watch the video. Everybody can see it themselves. All right, Tim, tell me off.
I support Caitlin Johnstone. I already thought I made that perfectly clear, but let me make that emphatically fucking clear. Some people said my response initially was tepid. There is nothing fucking tepid about me.
That was me.
Nothing. I'm not a tepid person. That's not my style. I just didn't know everything. I don't sit down. I do a lot of content. I do. I think Caitlin Johnstone was saying something I've been fucking saying on my channel for 4 fucking years. And if you follow me, you should have known that because I've been putting out videos about working together. Everyone working together. Regardless to tags, regardless to denomination, race, gender, color, party, political affiliation, ideology, whatever the fuck. That's what my channel is. That's what I stand for. I've been standing for that for way before I knew who Caitlin was. Way before there was a progressive army. Way before I knew, way before when Ben had 3,000 followers and the Noah had 600. I've been standing for that way before I knew these people, and I will continue to stand for it. And I'm appalled, and I'm hurt, and I'm pissed, and I can't believe these people who've been following me don't know that. You don't know that I believe. Fuck, I don't care. I will talk to anyone. I will work with anyone on Medicare for all. I will work with anyone on ending mass incarceration. I will work with anyone with ending perpetual wars. I will work with anyone who wants to work with me on that shit. Period. I can't believe people think I'm a Brock. What? You know how hard these fuckers went at me? Do you know how I woke up every day, HA and I, with hundreds of messages. You think you get it bad? Try putting out video content against the Democrats. I can't believe people question that. Then I had to say, Tim, well, maybe you got to look at it as what it is. You thought these people know who you are because you do mountains amount of content. Weekly and monthly and yearly. You think they know who you are, but they don't know who you are. They don't. So it's your job, Tim. It's your job to speak up for yourself because no one else is. I like Jamal. Jamal's a good guy. I'm going to be running my own channel for now and doing my own videos. And no offense to him, but damn it, I'm not tepid. And I'm tired of that being said. So maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's something. Maybe people think I'm tepid or timid. What the fuck? How dare you say that about me, about my content, about what I stand for? I've been doing this.
Yeah, he has some feelings. He has some feelings about that. He has some serious feelings. Yeah, dude. I'm sorry for whatever it's worth. I'm sorry that the tepid thing bothered you. I have to be honest. If somebody said that something I said was tepid or I gently walked through something, I don't think I would be mad about it. But that's me. I find this stuff to be somewhat minutia. So yeah, he's going to be doing his own channel. I will be doing my own channel. I have no offense, no ill feelings whatsoever. I'm sorry Tim Black had a bad reaction to me saying that. My job is to call it like it is. I didn't necessarily think his conversation with HA was bad. I said nothing bad about this conversation with HA at all. I thought they were being gentle in the way they were going about having the conversation because I thought they were trying to Sometimes when you're dealing with issues of race, people are timid about it. They don't necessarily want to go balls out and making one way or the other. I don't necessarily know his fan base. I don't necessarily know his entanglements. I just felt he was being gently going through it. That's all. It's not an offensive thing to say. It's not an offensive thing to say. From the perspective, from relative perspective, the way I'm looking at it, are you telling me that my perspective is wrong in seeing it that way? Okay. You can disagree with it. It just seems a little strong to go on a rant about it. That's all. To each his own. You can spend your time doing the content the way that you want to do your content on your particular channel. That's anybody. That's everybody. That's everyone's right. From here on out, I will be doing my own content. Still entanglements free. The perspective I give will be the perspective that I give based upon how I see things. I have no entanglements. I don't care who I work with. I am a single entity. I will remain a single entity. And I will tell things exactly the way I see things. No offense to Tim Black at all. Dude, no offense was meant. I considered you an uncle, honestly. I honestly had no ill feelings when I said that. Sorry you felt bad about it. I am. I wish you well. So, if you enjoy the content, feel free to share, write, subscribe, and you can find me here or specific content on Patreon. Thanks, guys.